The Earth is not a closed system. Energy constantly flows in. Without that energy, ecosystems wouldn't work. But not everything flows into the system the way energy does. Matter of all kinds is recycled, and today we are going to talk about those cycles. These are the biogeochemical cycles because they are chemicals and they cycle through both the biotic and abiotic components of ecosystems. There are a lot of these biogeochemical cycles, but we are going to focus on a few of the most important. Water, for instance, is super important. When a resource stays in one part of the cycle for a short time, like water in a mud puddle, we call that an exchange pool. When a resource, any resource, stays in one place for a long time, like water in an underground aquifer, then we call that a reservoir. The water cycle is global. Over the course of it, water molecules can be found in all three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. Water changes states as it moves. It evaporates from bodies of water, or it changes from a liquid to gas in transpiration. This is when water evaporates from the leaves of plants. Transpiration is very important. It transports a huge amount of water from the soil to the air. Water that isn't absorbed by plants might seep down into underground reservoirs called aquifers, where it might hang out for a very long time. Or it can run off of the land and end up in lakes, rivers, and in the ocean. Then it can evaporate back into the air, where it forms clouds and precipitates down to the land. Another important cycle is the carbon cycle. If you follow the carbon, you can see CO2 goes into the plants and comes out as sugar that might be used by an animal and breathed back out as CO2, or it might end up as a fossil fuel and be locked up in a reservoir for millions of years. The nitrogen cycle is the final cycle we'll talk about. 75% of the air is nitrogen, and we need nitrogen for proteins, but the nitrogen in the air has really strong bonds that we can't break. Some kinds of bacteria can. These bacteria hang out in the soil, and they fix the nitrogen by binding it to other molecules so that the plants can use it. Then we can get it by eating. When an organism dies, some portion of its nitrogen is returned to the soil, and some other bacteria can convert it back to the form found in the air, and the cycle begins again. So energy flows into the system constantly, but matter gets recycled, and that's a good thing. Because we need it, and there's only so much of it. Stay awesome.